Hello, welcome to the Nintendo Bros podcast. I am Pete,
And I am Derek.
and we are two brothers that talk about video games. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good, I'm doing really good. It's been, what, has it been 2 weeks or 3 weeks since we've talked?
I think it's been at least 2 weeks, probably 3 or even 4.
Yeah, I mean, I've been all the way to France and back, so
Around the world, yeah.
literally, yeah. And brought back lots of French video games. I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, so, it's still summertime. There's not tons of news, but there was a big announcement, a series of big announcements today from Sony, and there's been some Nintendo rumors and discussion, too. So I think there is lots to talk about this
Oh, nice.
week.
I don't know the Nintendo rumors, so I'm excited to hear what they are.
Yeah, F-Zero is being shadow dropped tomorrow.
Is that actually a rumor?
No.
Oh, I was like, how did I not see that?
Let's talk about Sony first, though, because that was kind of the big one today. Derek, you watched they had their kind of, what do you call them, Sony Playstation Direct?
I think it was like a showcase. That's what they called it.
They call it a showcase. Everyone just called it a Direct because that's what it is. Did you watched it live, right?
I did. Did you?
Yeah, I watched it live. Okay, what did you think about it? Because you're the guy here with the PS5, just so our readers know.
I gotta say, overall, I was really excited and hyped. I liked it a lot. So I would give it probably like a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they did announce a lot of stuff. To me, there was a lot of big announcements, especially exclusives. Wolverine, Spider-Man 2. They brought Ghostwire Tokyo. They showed that finally. Mm-hmm. But it seems like, I guess I came probably a little more disappointed than most people because, I feel like a lot of these games are coming out in 2023. One of them was even announced to come out in 2023. I don't think Wolverine's coming out any earlier than 2023. I think it's going to come out 2024.
I was thinking that Wolverine might come out first.
Oh, I don't know. I think Spider-Man, they've got the engine. They got they've already got a.
I think Wolverine's going to use the same engine though.
We'll see. I think it'd be a smart idea because it would allow more time for Miles Morales to sell. But who knows? I mean, I literally assume Spider-Man's coming first because they already have a year attached. Was the big reason for me.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was. I just for some reason in my head was like, well, they showed Wolverine first, so I think that game was like next in their lineup. But I really don't know.
I mean, I guess for me, I kind of came away. Nothing really blew me away. I think in general it shows a strong upcoming lineup, especially like starting in the spring. They have Horizon in February. They've got GT7 in March, and now they've mentioned that the exclusive, The Forspoken, which I actually think looks cool, is coming out in the spring, which probably means May or June. So I think they have a pretty strong year next year. It looks like. My only kind of I guess problem with it, there wasn't really one game that stood out to me as amazing, and even God of War looked, for the first bit of it, I thought was just God of War on PS4 running on PS5. It looks good, but it still kind of looks the same. It's not like that first big time seeing that God of War reboot. And I mean, Knights of the Old Republic remake is cool, but we didn't see anything, so that's years away. And they put a very big, heavy focus on these Japanese titles that I wasn't really aware of. And to me, Ghostwire Tokyo looks like a 7 at best. Nothing really stunned me. So I mean, for me, I'm quite comfortable holding off on my PS5 purchase for a while, it seems like.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like when I was watching again, I have a PS5, so I'm more excited, I guess. But I thought the same thing about, starting in January, they have a pretty good lineup. Like the Rainbow Six Extraction, it looks pretty fun. Like it does look kind of one of those co-op.
It's like fighting vampires in a Rainbow Six, right?
I think it's more like there's like evil mutant zombies, and you have to get into somewhere, do something, and then get out, or you have to rescue someone and get out. So it's kind of like it almost gave me Left 4 Dead vibes.
Okay, but I mean that's not exclusive. That's Ubisoft.
No, I'm just naming I'm just going through the months. You're right.
Sure. Yeah.
And then February they have Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep.
And then was there something announced in March?
The GTA 5
Oh
next
yeah.
gen remake. That'll
Okay.
probably be big. And Gran Turismo 7.
Okay, so yeah, they have both those, and then like you said, it was Forspoken, right? That is coming for
In the spring.
the
So
spring.
April, May, June, maybe July. Yeah.
I thought there was something else announced for April. Am I going crazy?
I can't. Nothing exclusive and big that I can recall.
Oh, another game is the Tiny Tina's like Borderlands game is coming out in March.
Not interested, but okay.
Oh yeah, okay, I am.
I thought that like game where you're on the island and you. I guess it looks like kind of a survival, slightly like Animal Crossing. Do you know what I'm talking about? I couldn't remember the title, but that game actually looks
Oh,
really interesting.
you mean Chia?
Yeah.
See that game? Excuse me. Interested me the least.
I mean, just it looked like something different.
It looks like a cool indie game.
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, that they're remaking Uncharted. I mean, I guess it's not really a remake. It's probably just like a Last of Us style port. But Uncharted 4 is my least favorite of the four of them, so I'm not too excited about that.
That's a hard pass for me. But again, so I mean, we all know Deathloop's coming. I'm excited for that. It's a good game.
Comes out in like a week, like less than a week.
Less than a week. And I honestly thought Guardians of the Galaxy, from what we saw, looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, when I watched it, the thought that I was getting was, this is going to sell huge, isn't it? And to everyone's like chagrin, you know?
I know, like I don't think it's going to be like, an 8.5 kind of game, but I could see it doing, high sevens and again, I agree with you, sell really well. It looks way better than the Avengers game to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Ghostwire Tokyo, I'm on the kind of the fence with agreeing with you and also not. I really like Tango Works. I think they're the ones that make it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Evil Within 1 and 2. This game looks very different than Evil Within 1
It
or 2.
almost looks like a Fatal Frame to me. It's because it's in first person, right?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it is very, very different. I don't know if I've never played the Fatal Frame games. I'm just trying to think of a game that's related to it. But I was hoping they would continue with more of a horror aspect. This game seems a little bit less tense and scary and more action focused and kind of almost like you're like using special powers to fight ghosts.
Yep.
Where I want it to be more like you're alone and like creepy things are happening and it's very eerie. More like the Evil Within at times, or like just very butt clenching, tense kind of things.
You loved clenching your butt while playing video games, don't you?
You know what? I like those games once in a while. I gotta admit, like I've been looking at some horror games to play in October, and I'm excited to do that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it looked bad. But yeah, you're right. Ghostwire Tokyo is one of those games that could be totally hit or miss, and I'll probably get it anyways. Maybe not day one. The one thing that I found interesting is previously they have said that Ghostwire Tokyo is slated for October, and now it doesn't have a release date anymore. So I think it's probably going to come out much later in 2022.
You think? I'm thinking probably summer.
Yeah, I think summer or fall. Yeah, I don't think it's in the first 4 months or so.
Yeah, it's too stacked. But
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think Sony's got a good lineup next year. Not as much this fall, but Horizon's going to be the big one for sure. Like that's a big. That and GT7 are big releases.
Yeah, the three games. I mean, there's three games that I kind of want to talk about a bit more. The first is just because you might know more about this than me, and I maybe want to ask a question. Is Alan Wake? Like I know that name, but I've never played that game before. I don't really know the background of that game, so I just was curious if you had more info on it.
It was Xbox 360 exclusive from Remedy. I don't know if you know Remedy. They made
Remedy made Control. Yeah,
yeah, and they also made that other game
Quantum Break,
Quantum Leap, and I believe they also did the Max Payne games. So that's kind of their history. So really good with third-person shooters and detailed environments that kind of blow up in lots of things, lots of particles, lots of items going around. So they're behind this game, but they're not behind the remake, I don't think. But they are behind the original. It's an Xbox 360 game. I never played it, but it didn't really interest me that much. From what I remember reading was that the game kind of devolves into this action, the way you take down ghosts is like shining them with a flashlight and then shooting at them. And from what I remember reading, is like the second half of the game just kind of devolves into doing that a bunch, and loses some of its atmosphere. It's really hard to strike a balance with these survival horror games where they don't devolve into some sort of menial action.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean that's even true for, and I'm not trying to criticize because I love Resident Evil 4. Even Resident Evil 4 has a bit of that, where on the island you do get a bit more action focused of a game.
Yeah, but at least in Resident Evil 4, that's kind of a short-lived part at the end, and it's like constantly climaxing, and then it's over.
Yeah, I agree. I love Resident Evil 4.
We don't speak ill of Resident Evil 4 on this.
I'm sorry.
But I guess a lot of survival games, they kind of fall into either being like a walking simulator, or the other angle is being way too open and being basically like an action game. So it's a tough balance to strike where you have freedom of gameplay and options, but also you're guided, and it's not too free that it becomes an action romp. And from what I've heard, this game is that.
I really hope you continue playing Evil Within 1 and then 2 because they're both very different games for that exact reason that you described. Evil Within 1 is very much kind of a linear game. It's very story driven. It does get a little actiony at the end. I agree. Like it's kind of like that, Resident Evil 4 or 5 where it does devolve into that. But the Evil Within 2 is more open, where it actually starts off as more of a.
It's a whole town, isn't it? A whole town you're in?
Yeah, exactly. And like there's side missions, and there's actually it's like way different. So I'd just be curious to, again, you don't have to beat them both, but just to play them both to see the kind of total difference of how they kind of took that game on.
Maybe that'll be my October Halloween kind of goal.
Yeah, I loved them both for completely different reasons. It's like very, very different styles. The other two games I wanted to talk about are the ones we haven't really mentioned. Is one Forspoken. I know we talked about it briefly for a second, but what did you think about this game?
I think it looks awesome on the surface, but considering it's coming out so soon and it's from Square Enix, and I thought the cutscenes looked awful, it gave me this air of kind of like a cheap B-tier game with like a cool surface level mechanic of movement across an open world, But I mean, I guess I just kind of looked at it this time and I'm like, okay, that open world's probably going to be empty. It looks really cool to jump around it, but is it that involving with the platforming and like movement? I don't know.
Yeah,
or does it just look cool? I mean, to me, it kind of struck me as something that could be a 7 out of 10, or it could be something much more, but hard to tell.
Yeah, I agree with you on the traversal. Like, just moving around the place looks cool. I think the combat looks quite good too. But I do have a worry. Again, you mentioned Square Enix. I feel the same. I didn't like the cutscenes or the dialogue, but I was getting the kind of vibes I got from Final Fantasy 15. I don't think you played that game, but looked really cool. Cool action scenes. You're warping around, doing all these sword attacks, and looked great. But then when you actually play the game yourself, it's a barren world. There's a lot of just nothingness, and the combat is actually so oversimplified. There's nothing to it. So
the story looked awful.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope this game is better. I'm optimistic, but I'm very, very cautious about it. I think there's going to be some really awesome things about this because it looks like it's really pushing that. Some of the PS5 graphics and kind of things that it can do, but I also think it's might not be the most well directed. I don't know if directors
or like densely made. I mean, the world looks a little bit empty.
Yeah, it looks like it's doing some really cool things that are pushing boundaries, but it also looks really weak in other areas.
Like I'm kind of like a generation ago, open world would have really blown me away, but now it kind of doesn't have the same allure to me. It's kind of like, okay, there's an open world. Why do I want to explore it? Is it just me going from waypoint to waypoint or from point to point? Like, I don't. Might as well not be open world.
I agree. The only thing that I think might save that point on this game is that traversal looks awesome. Like, I think back to infamous Second Son, and that honestly, there's not a lot to do in the city. You kind of move to fight after fight and kind of move to the mission, like the story mission. But moving around the city is just fun. Like, you can just do that all the time. It's like Spider-Man as well. I find those games just to move around the area fun. Mm-hmm. So this game might be one of those games where, there might just be an area of kind of vacant space, but just to like move through the trees and up the rock face, and it might just be really cool and fun to do that.
I just hope that there's like it uses the open world in its fighting mechanics, and it's not just like traveling this big cool space to get somewhere, initiate the fighting sequence, travel somewhere, initiate the fighting sequence, travel somewhere, and you know what I mean, and initiate
Yeah,
some mini game quest. Like, let me use that traversal in the fighting. Let me fight
yeah.
giants. Let me fight in the open field. Let me run away from giant flame walls and things like. That's where I think it would interest me more. Where this time seeing it looked a little bit, it kind of worried me that it looks cool until you get to your gameplay, and then your gameplay is just like a lot of other games.
Yeah, very constricted. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It would be awesome if they had, God of War sized bosses. You're just warping up the leg and the knee, and and then you're warping back down, and things are flying after. Like, it'd be cool if you could. I mean, I don't know if the PS5 can even do something that crazy, but I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I love Breath of the Wild, I even think the gameplay in Far Cry is good, is because it uses that world for the gameplay, and the enemies fight you in the world, and they can knock down trees and burn down trees, and even Zelda didn't do it that much because the bosses were kind of segmented, and same with the lions and the or the what's it called, like the big, I can't remember those big fat enemies are, but like they're always kind of segmented, but the guardians weren't really.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That's one thing I look. I mean, I'm almost turned off of open world now. It's kind of like, I think Horizon does it really well too, don't they? Where you can find any type of enemy in any type of area, and it'll mix it up. It's not like. Do you know what I mean by that? Where like you're not just
No, I
walking to a
think
field and seeing one dinosaur there all the time.
Horizon actually is like that because it's almost like hunting in a game where there are certain zones that have certain creatures.
Okay, well, that's cool.
I mean, I really liked her. I really liked Horizon, but it does feel a little bit constricted and static in those ways.
Are
So
you
I'm
excited for Horizon 2?
Oh yeah, super excited. The main reason I'm excited is just the color difference. Where the first game, it does get a little bit muddy at times. It gets a little bit similar, the colors, the oranges and the browns. That's how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Where this game, you got those really, really bright, vibrant colors of the beach and kind of that coastal region. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Your TV.
Yeah, that's what I know. And like the thing is, I haven't played a lot of those PS4 games on my TV. So just jumping to the sequel is going to be mind blowing for that reason alone.
Are you getting Ghost of Tsushima or what's the other director's cut? Death Stranding.
So I had the original Death Stranding. I don't know if you have it or played it.
No, you told me about it. You didn't love it, but I know the director's cut is coming out.
I mean, it's a cool idea, but after like 6 hours, I was like, I just didn't. I didn't want to commit more time to seeing more. I'm sure, and I know people say it gets way cooler once you get more into it, and it's more online, and there's all these stuff to it. But the gameplay just wasn't pulling me along to find more gameplay. So it's not a bad game. It looks great. It's a cool idea. The story was actually really cool, but I just didn't care enough to go through walking again and again and again. It really, you do have to kind of get used to the walking. And Ghost of Tsushima is on my top like 6 of most wanted games right now. I'm watching it every day to see when it goes on sale. I think it'll be a while though because the PS5 version just came out, so I don't think it's gonna drop in price.
Not right away.
Soon.
Maybe next year at some point.
Or yeah, maybe like Black Friday. There's just one more game I want to talk about. What is your thought on? Actually, maybe a few more. But what was your thought on Project Eve?
That was that game they showed early on, right? I thought
the first game.
I thought that looked kind of cool, like it has potential, but I'm not. It's hard to tell now what's a major open world game and what's kind of like from an indie studio with ambition. Like I don't know. I don't know much. Who's the developer behind it? Do you know?
I don't know. I'll check right now.
I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean, it did strike me a bit that it had such giant worlds, but I don't know.
It says Shift Up Corporation.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was an actual developer, like part of the game's story.
I think they're Korean. They're a Korean developer. But anyways, I just thought you would have more to say about it because to me, the moment I saw the first 3 seconds of it, I thought it was a Bayonetta something. It looked
a lot like Bayonetta, didn't it?
It looked like PlayStation said, "Hey, we want to have a Bayonetta clone," and someone said, "I'm on it." like the fight, and that's why I was surprised you even mentioned open world. To me, this game looks very linear, story driven, level based, even, and I think it's going to be so much, so like mirrored of Bayonetta that people are gonna really kind of make that comparison to Bayonetta 3 when they both come out.
You think? Well, I mean, we don't know anything about Bayonetta 3. I think Bayonetta 3 is years away, so we'll probably see Eve first. Project Eve is what, next year, probably?
Yeah, I don't think it was actually given an actual release date. No, it wasn't.
I mean, it's just hard to tell in these trailers how deep and rewarding and how good the action actually feels to play. So games like this kind of pass by me until I see they're close to release and I'm hearing.
Yeah, I need to see more. I just thought, it looks very Platinum-esque. So I thought maybe you would have been more hyped about it, because I know you love the Bayonetta games.
But you know what? I gotta say, games like Nier Automata and what's the other one that you like that you think is gonna be game of the year? That like games like
Returnal.
Returnal, yeah, like those games would never be on my radar until very close to release, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, these are beloved games. I gotta try them out.
Yeah, Returnal is so freaking good. I can't imagine anything beating it.
It's your game of the year, I know. Other than what we're going to talk about next was there one more game you wanted to talk about from the PlayStation?
The only other game I really wanted to mention, I don't have to mention it very much because I never played it, but Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake was announced, and it's a PS5, maybe PC as well, but I think it's a PS5 only, actually, timed exclusive.
Yeah, for 6 to 12 months or something.
Yeah.
But is Sony developing it, or are they just paying for an exclusive?
I think they're publishing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I played the original a little bit on Xbox. It's interesting because it is kind of an Xbox game. It's as if Microsoft kind of had a Crash Bandicoot exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of because it is. I mean, it was on the original Xbox and PC. It was not on PS2 or GameCube. So a lot of Xbox fans, remember this game from their childhood on it. The first Xbox. It's a really cool game. It's got a really great end twist. I won't ruin it for you.
But what is it? Is it? I thought this was is this an MMORPG or is this?
It's just a story-driven single-player action RPG.
Okay, cool. I did not know that. I thought it was because there was an MMORPG too that people always talk about with Star Wars.
Yeah, Galaxies.
Okay.
This is different. Has a story. There's even a sequel. And the story, like the combat's really well made because you can play with a gun. It's a lot like Mass Effect. The way it's not quite turn-based, but it is a little bit. Almost like
is it kind of like
Fallout?
Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I never played it, but I think it's more closer to like Fallout 3, Fallout 4.
Okay, I never played the Fallout games.
You can slow it down and choose like how you're gonna.
Oh yeah, I did that for Fallout 4. I hated that mechanic actually, so we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, look it up. It's a classic. I think the fact that we didn't see anything means we'll be waiting until 2024 to see this.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is right now, I guess. We're waiting a long time. I mean, I guess, to round off my thoughts, I figured Sony would have something exclusive for the PS5 to show us by now that was, like, exciting looking,
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. And it's kind of disappointing that God of War is a PS4 game and Horizon is a PS4 game. And they both kind of look like it to me. They both kind of look iterative in the most negative sense. So I'm still kind of waiting for that big Sony PS5 exclusive to even show it to us.
I would say Returnal is that, but or Ratchet and Clank.
Both of those games I've heard were so short and small and.
Oh, Returnal! I could put in another 30 hours to this day and still enjoy it.
You're a Returnal enthusiast.
I mean, I platinumed the game, so that'll tell you something about it.
Wow.
And I agree. I mean, there's a lot of games that are PS4 carryover, and there's a lot of games that were shown that are not coming anytime soon.
Yeah. I give it an 8. How about that? I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to be excited for. I hope they have more to fill up their years as they kind of go through them. I am kind of surprised that they showed Insomniac having 2 more games. Because they released Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, and now they're showing two more games, and it kind of raises the question
that's why I think Logan is so far away. Like they're working hard on Spider-Man 2. That's coming. We'll see it next E3. It'll come out in May 2023, something like
Logan.
that. But Logan, we're gonna see even later.
Wolverine. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But
Same thing. But yeah.
Well, Logan's a movie. I just think it's interesting because it makes me kind of raise the question of where are the other developers? Like I'm sure Naughty Dog is working on something. I know there's probably a team that's working on the multiplayer factions for The Last of Us 2. Mm-hmm. And, Ben Studio's working on, I think, a new IP, they said. And
where's Sucker Punch? That's what I want to know.
I agree. Where is Sucker? Like, I totally agree with that. And I just find it, one, impressive that, Insomniac is able to confidently show stuff and churn them out. And you're right, it'll be a few years out. But I am surprised that we're getting 4 games released and shown by Insomniac before we get one shown by 3 or 4 of their big studios. Yeah,
same here. I mean, it's Insomniac has had a little bit of a cheat though with their games so far because Spider-Man is kind of it's kind of an upgrade to a PS4 game. It's like a little bit of a DLC expansion.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call that it's not like they built
Spider-Man. Yeah, it's like a standalone DLC, I agree. And Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, like they've been iteratively making those every 2 years for the past, 20 years.
Yeah, they had the formula. They had the formula down for that, and even that game is pretty short.
It's a little different. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just goes to show just how hard it is to make games now. I mean, it's hard to just have a big, brand new AAA from the ground up new exclusive in year 1 or even year 2 for these systems now. You have to have something that's more iterative that the studio's been building on. I mean, even with Nintendo, it's like, what was their big Switch exclusive in the first year? Splatoon and Mario, both
in the first year, Breath of the Wild.
But I mean, that was also a Wii U game that was.
True. Yeah.
I don't know if I count that as a big Switch exclusive. I mean, it turned out to be the same way GTA 5 is going to be a big PS5 game, but you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like to expect Sony to have some sort of brand new take on something in the first year or two is probably a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rumor that a Twisted Metal is in development.
And there's Silent Hill rumors all over the place too.
Yeah, I would love something like a Siphon Filter. Or something a little more action heavy. Like I don't like how I love Naughty Dog in their games, but I kind of am tired of the open world or
really story driven third person shooter. And I'd like using those third person shooter mechanics for something more gamey, like a Vanquish or. I was about to say Vanquish. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of potential, and I liked what I saw, but I hope there's. We know there's more in the works. I'm just excited when those get shown.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, next year has Eden Ring as well, or Elden Ring.
That's not an exclusive. That's not an exclusive.
I know, but that's going to be a huge game in January. So
that's my number one most wanted game right now.
Yeah, they had a trailer of it right before the showcase, and it looked really good. Really.
Yeah, I want it 100 times more than Metroid.
Well, that's a good segue into Switch. So there have been some games that have come out recently for Switch. I guess the notable releases are, the new Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Oh, I hope we talk about that game.
Let's talk about
that game.
No More Heroes 3, and recently WarioWare Get It Together got reviewed. So all of them have landed around, 75, 76 on the review scales. Mm-hmm. All seem pretty decent. Nothing amazing. I don't think I'm going to get any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, No More Heroes 3 even looked okay, but I just can't handle the...
I thought you pre-ordered that game, or was I crazy?
You're crazy.
Oh.
I was on the fence about it. I mean, it looked good. The fighting looks good, but it just doesn't come together. I mean, I just can't handle that 20 frames a second open world.
That's how I felt when I played 1 and I think some of 2. They're fun concept. There's fun gameplay in there, but it is really rough around the edges. That's how I felt. It just wasn't quite cohesive. It didn't always feel fluid to play. And when you're comparing it to, now that Platinum is such a kind of conquering studio when it comes to these, action games, I think they just kind of got overshadowed. Like, their gameplay feels a little outdated. Even though
it's a much smaller team too.
I was going to say, it feels more indie, like an indie Platinum, and I'm not really interested in that.
I'm curious to see how it sells, though. I think it'll do pretty well.
Oh,
Hopefully it'll sell.
I think it'll do terribly.
Really, I hope it can at least sell 1 million copies worldwide. I think it can do that on Switch. You think it'll do terribly? Wow, with all the hype it's had, and
I mean, I didn't.
it's gotten some
I think
reviews are
I think
high
a
for
million.
it.
I think 1 million is possible. I just I don't see it as the next big tent pole for the Switch.
Of course not. No, it never was going to be.
Some people would have predicted 5 million, or it could have been.
Yeah, right. Maybe if it was like amazing, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, no. It's just too small of a studio, and to pull off an open world like that, you gotta fill it. It's very hard to fill an open world with stuff. Even big
With a small
studios,
studio.
yeah, even
Yeah.
big studios have a problem with that. So, Wario also got some. I thought the reviews for Get It Together WarioWare were gonna be higher.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. I don't know how the others in the series reviewed. You might know that better than I would.
Quite well.
Maybe did you actually read reviews about why it wasn't rated as high? Was there something
Well,
about?
I played the demo as well. There's a demo on the eShop, and I think that it just kind of doesn't really inspire a lot of creativity. I mean, you just play with the regular controls.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also no online mode, and they said I've read that a lot of the 4-player modes don't really land, or a lot of the cooperative modes. Like, it's just easier to play with one person.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's almost like it's that kind of like Nintendo style of multiple players makes it more chaotic, which is more fun, but also like less efficient. It's not like focus. Oh yeah, like we're gonna do this together. It's more like you're in my way. You might as well not play or stay behind me.
Yeah.
So that a little bit of that. It just I don't know. To me, the lack of online always hurts a multiplayer game a lot. Yeah, just a lot of things like that, and also it has over 200 mini games or micro games, but that's still less than WarioWare Gold, which was a redux of older games, but had over 300. And to be honest, I would have probably just preferred a remix of Gold with an inclusion of smooth moves from Wii using the Joy-Con. Because Gold had the touchscreen stuff, it had twist stuff, it had regular stuff, and it just would be amazing to be able to set that up. Sit at your TV and say, okay, we don't want touchscreen, we don't want rotation right now. We just want, or we're playing with controllers. We want controls and this, or we want. It would have been really customizable. So I would prefer that. Hopefully they still do that, like a WarioWare Gold on Switch, because I love the WarioWare franchise. But I don't know. Try the demo. It is fun. It's
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even know they had a demo, so I'll download and try it.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's just to be honest, we're in a landscape now. We're paying. It's not full price, but paying nearly full price for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. You got to be way more selective with games, so that's not really. I think at $20, I'd get that for sure.
Exactly. Or if it had the online mode, right? If I knew I could just kind of play forever by myself. Now it's kind of something that I'll play with one person once, and if they don't like it, that'll be the only time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. The other thing, we haven't talked about it since, was a new Metroid trailer dropped.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Sonic?
What is there to talk? We talk about it every week. It came out, has terrible glitches on Switch. Apparently, it's 30.
Apparently, it's got like seizure warnings, it's got a seizure problem
because it like flashes colors.
But it's not like it's broken. Like the game looks
it looks
everything's. Broken. It's not just like the game is colorful. It's things are wrong with polygon 3D models loading, and it's like these blur of colors. Like things are not right with that game. Like
I heard the PS5 version and Xbox version have issues as well.
I think it's the game, but how did that pass quality assurance? People actually said that. How did that game pass quality assurance to be released? Like it's not.
How did any game from Sonic pass quality assurance?
Yeah, but it's one thing that have a bad. It's one thing to a game is just bad, or if even frame rate's one thing, but that's like everything's not loading properly. Like it's like the game is actually broken.
They had to reach a date. What else?
I know. It's just like
I know. It's so like it's like they don't care.
It's the most embarrassing thing I've seen Sonic do in a long time.
They don't care about the brand of Sonic. Like they literally just to them releasing it regularly is more important than the quality.
Yeah.
Like it's like they'd rather just have Sonic on a box in a store than not have a Sonic on a box in a store. You know, it's too bad that they haven't really ever released a good Sonic game, and it's really too bad. I mean, I watched a few video reviews, and it still looks good. It still is one of the better 3D Sonics.
Oh, I think it's unplayable. It doesn't look good. It's broken. It looks
Yeah,
to
but
me like
you hit those issues.
I know it.
Then,
I know
then
it's
you
like
restart, and it doesn't happen the next time. And
yeah,
a lot of
but
people will never see those issues, so it's always
Yeah,
overstated.
I don't know. I can't believe it's in that state.
Yeah, maybe get it in a couple months. To me, I feel like this game will definitely show up on Xbox Game Pass or PSN Plus at some point. It's just the perfect candidate for that, especially in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be happy to take a trip down memory lane with it then. That's as far as it goes, you know.
And then
Sonic
Sonic should be buried in a deep, deep grave.
Sonic has hurt me. Okay, he's made the more Sonic games that come out, the more he's staining my copy of Smash Brothers for being in it. So
That's such a good line.
like he's like slowly to remove like the quality of when a Sonic game comes out, the quality of Ultimate goes down. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's not a lot coming out in September. I mean that I know of for Switch. The next big game is obviously Metroid Dread. There's a new trailer that came out for it that looks amazing. I know you saw it and you said all your faith is restored.
So I watched like again like I said in another podcast. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I was really hesitant by the team. I didn't know from the first trailer. I was looked good. I was worried about some of the play style of the game with the stealth and the Emmy robots and what's kind of cool or upgradey about this. So that's why I chose to watch this trailer because I was really like I was gonna pass or kind of be dark. But I watched the trailer and I watched maybe 30% of it and I had to turn it off because my hype was maxed out and I didn't want to ruin anything else for me.
They show a lot in this trailer.
I know I saw like 2 power-ups and a boss and I was like, I'm done.
They showed a lot more power-ups and they showed
don't say anything.
I won't. We shouldn't say anything even for our 2 listeners.
No, yeah. I would I would strongly I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, don't watch it, is what I was going to say. I would strongly recommend not watching it.
I mean, to me, I watched it. I don't see the difference between the hype I get from watching it in the trailer and the hype I get when I see it in the game. Because I know there's lots of things that will still be in the game that will tip my hype meter.
Me too, but I still like going in more blind if I can.
I mean, I saw the trailer within moments of it releasing. I didn't realize it was going to be so spoiler heavy. But... whatever.
All I needed to do was watch enough to know that it's a 100% guarantee going to be amazing, and that's all I needed, and I'm done. I'll
it
black
looks
out.
Amazing. I mean, I think there's a few things to keep in mind because I know you're doubting Mercury's team, but the entire map design and world design is done by Nintendo. They don't just say to them, "Hey, make us a Metroid game," and like we want some special gun that does this. They literally sent them the entire map of the game.
How do you know they sent the entire map?
I read it in an interview because I went back and I read there's every time they release a new trailer every 2 weeks or so they release a new like chapter to read on the Metroid website about how the design of it is going and how like they've released a lot of information on there. I'm pretty well caught up with the game. Like they announced already there'll be sequence breaking and different ways to beat the game. Like you don't have to do it all one way. Like other Metroid
that's
games.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they said you can use different traversal abilities to actually go and beat it a different way, which is super cool.
Well, it's important to remember that this is the first true new 2D Metroid since a lot of the lessons and kind of core concepts they've learned from Metroid Prime series.
Well, assuming they learned anything from Metroid Prime series, it seemed to act like it doesn't exist. But anyways, the thing that reaffirmed some of my worries about the game in this trailer was just seeing a wide diversity of locations.
That's what that was one of the things I noticed too.
And it seems like Nintendo does this with their E3 reveal. They're like, okay, we'll stay in this one location, and then it kind of makes everybody think the game doesn't have this diversity of color. And then you see this trailer, and they're all over the place. They're in rainy settings. They're underwater. They're in like a volcano.
Don't ruin it, Pete.
Oh, sorry. Well, it just looked great, and tons of power ups. So like, and there's gonna be more power ups that were in the trailer, and just let me tell you, a lot of new cool moves, and a lot of I don't know if they were in Samus Returns, but some of the moves that were like seems like they're taking it from Metroid Prime and bringing it into this.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome, and just a few of the cutscenes look great, and the whole story surrounding it really has me. I mean, I can see this game being the obvious game of the year. I can see it coming out and being Nintendo's high reviewed game. You know?
I think it'll be Nintendo's number one game for sure.
Yeah.
I
With
think it'll be
reviews, though,
I think
maybe.
I think it could even be the best selling Metroid of all time.
Easily.
And I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year on most sites, just because there's other really big heavy hitters that I think will just beat it out. Like I think Halo or Battlefield or just by
Halo
I know
comes
review,
out too late to really be included in the Game of the Year conversation anymore, eh? Because it's
coming out in December.
December 8th, and like by then most of the publications have chosen, and video game awards have already happened by then.
So are we not allowing it for that year? I thought you're the one that told me reset.
You
told me that
allowed,
reset eras.
We're allowed to say
No,
whatever
but
we
you-
want, and same with reset
I
era.
know,
I
but
just mean with a lot of the
you said the.
with a lot of the
you
websites
said-
and the video game awards, Halo won't be included anymore.
I know. I'm just saying. You said your official, the real Game of the Year awards. You said was reset era.
I agree for me, but I'm just
But
making.
you
a
said
note.
that's you said that when I said like what metric are we using? You said it's reset era. It's got to be.
Fair, but I mean, we never really. It's not like we're betting anything on our guesses for Game of the Year, are we?
No, I know. We're talking. I thought we were talking about Game of the Year on reset era, and now you're bringing.
No,
in
I thought I was just speaking in terms of because you were like, oh, I think Halo will win the Game of the Year, but I guess in some way, I guess I mean like overall, a lot of publications won't be able to award it. It won't be like the year that The Last of Us came out and The Breath of the Wild came out. And every publication was awarding those games, but the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
This year we're gonna have Halo missing from like 90% of those awards. It'll be in the reset era one because they do it in January. So yeah, I'm just making a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads more credence to Metroid winning, but we'll see. I mean, Metroid just hits all the boxes. Like you got to think like when Halo was shown off, like there seemed to be all this discussion about what different gamers want and the campaign and that one character, the monkey-looking character that everyone thought looked terrible. Like it's had a lot of bad publicity. Metroid's just had like a clean streak. Do you know what I mean? Like the hype's just going accelerating. It looks great from the.
It's going up only. Yeah.
Get go. There's been no delays. Like it's from reveal to release. It's been like the smoothest marketing, like line ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm super excited for it. I can't believe it's a month away.
I know, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So I'm super excited for it now after that trailer. So don't worry. I'm on Team Metroid now.
Yeah, I really think it could get Game of the Year.
I still think Returnal's gonna beat it out for me. We'll see. But Returnal, it's one of my favorite games of all time.
We'll see. I'm not so convinced that any of these fall games are really gonna light anyone up anymore. Like I don't know if we're gonna get I don't know if Shin Megami Tensei 5 might be good and Forza 7 will be good, but is anything really gonna be that big Last of Us kind of game or Breath of the Wild or Mario?
No, yeah. If it's not Halo, then Metroid probably would be the next big game.
I honestly think the next
because Battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield and Call of Duty kind of games, they just won't win that award.
Yeah, they don't get the excitement going the same way. I think it really at this point it is a Metroid or Halo competition.
Or I think Returnal, and I think Resident Evil Village will do somewhat. Okay.
I just mean
I don't think it'll-
in terms of the fall.
the fall. Yeah, I agree then.
Like it's either going to be a Metroid fall or a Halo fall. It's not both.
Yes.
It's not going to be
Yeah.
Pokemon. It's
It
not
could always
gonna-
be advanced. It could always be the Advance War remake. You never know.
Yeah, if that doesn't get delayed. I don't think it will. Okay, so in other news, there's rumors that Nintendo Switch Online is going to introduce Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Doesn't mention Game Boy Advance in this report. Maybe, maybe not. Not too exciting for me. I don't know what you think.
I mean, there are some. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's Game Boy Advance games that I really want. Game Boy Color, it'd be cool to play some of them. But yeah, I hope Game Boy Advance eventually comes because that's where like the real honeypot of handheld games are.
I agree. Well stated. But I don't know. There's a few things on Game Boy that it might be fun to go back to. I know Donkey Kong 94 is really great, and the original Tetris.
Is that? And what about? Isn't Donkey Kong Land on Game Boy Color?
That's yes.
That's the one
no,
Donkey
Kong
Kong
Land is on Game Boy, I believe, and then Donkey Kong Country is on Game Boy Color.
because there's a Donkey Kong game that you never played.
Well, there's Donkey Kong and there's Donkey Kong Land, 1, 2,
But
and 3.
but that's actually a 2D. It's just like Donkey Kong Country, but different levels in game.
It's like the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong. You know,
But we're not talking about. Yeah, we're not talking about.
Donkey Kong Land, yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 came to Game Boy.
I know, but
They were not the same as the Donkey Kong Country that came to Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance.
Exactly, but I'm saying Donkey Kong Land and Donkey Kong Land 2 are games that you've never played. They're not the same
and
as
3. I know. If they came, I'd be happy to give those a play.
Yeah. Because they look like they're the same 3 as Donkey Kong Country, but they're not.
They're not. No.
Yeah.
Also, the Wario games, Wario Land 2 and 3 are on Game Boy, which are good ones, Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, Game Boy Advance is what I want badly. Hopefully they do it. In other news, CEO John Gibson of Tripwire, and maybe you heard about this news, he tweeted in support of the Texas abortion laws and has since ruined his entire career and had to step down as CEO. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. That he's literally ruined his career over a tweet, which was known to happen. They made the games the Maneater, it's on Game Pass. You play.
I played Maneater. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I played it too. It's on Game Pass. It's kind of fun.
I had a friend that really got into Chivalry. That's the Knight versus Knight.
Yep, I played some Chivalry with me and Adrian Vitt played that. Number 2's coming out. So
yeah.
This guy, really stupid thing to tweet, right? And what happened was a lot of the company's partners kind of stepped up and said, we don't want to support this company anymore as long as he's there. And even his own staff kind of made a statement. It was bad luck. So
yeah. Good riddance.
What do you think about that? I mean, yeah, there's not really much to think about that. It's just kind of funny to think like, hey, I'm gonna wake up this morning and while I'm drinking coffee, I think I'm gonna make that tweet I was thinking about. And then by the time he's eating lunch, he's getting calls about being fired and all. I mean, I just imagine the stress he's got to go through, right?
Yeah, people just don't. They don't realize those things have consequences. I don't know why. After so many examples that they do, but yeah, some people just don't realize. But you know what? I'm betting he's probably a multi-millionaire and could retire and never have to work a day in his life, anyways.
Well, hopefully the bank, after hearing about this, closes his account and.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Like, yeah, the bank's like, you don't agree with our values, so we actually closed your account.
Yeah, we've frozen your account permanently.
How do I get my money? Oh, you can't. Well, what about my house and my mortgage? Like, actually, they're coming right now to take you out of it. You don't agree with the mortgage company's values. Anyways, yeah, screw him. That's funny. Ruin his career. What an idiot. So, I guess we'll move on to our What Have You Been Playing section. What have you been playing, Derek?
Yeah, I actually haven't been playing too much since our last time talking.
Wow.
I finished Resident Evil Village and Returnal, and I platinumed both those games.
Yeah, you told me Resident Evil 8 was okay.
I would give it an 8.2 and 8.3.
Oh, wow, so specific. Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, it's above an 8, but I don't think it's in that 8.59 range.
Okay.
Yeah, it is really good. I platinumed it, so I have played the game multiple playthroughs pretty close together. The beginning of the game's awesome, and I actually, despite most people, I really liked the end of the game. It's the middle section that I really did not like. It felt I don't want to, without revealing too much. There's basically kind of 4 main kind of sections, maybe 5, and the first section's really good. And then the 4th and even the 5th section are pretty good. But 2 and 3 are total. They almost felt like they should have had more content, but they just didn't. Like it felt very barren compared to the other sections. So I don't know if they just ran out of time and they actually had more ideas for it. But yeah, that was the only kind of real issue with I had was that I almost wanted more of the game in those areas and I didn't get it.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know exactly what the game is already.
Well, yeah, it's Resident Evil 8.
I just mean the way it progresses.
Yeah, like you'll it's a pretty good mix of Resident Evil 4 mixed with Resident Evil 7. Like that's the best way.
I'm down for that. It's fun.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Like you'll enjoy it a lot. You'll enjoy it more than 7, I'm sure.
Oh, really? Because 7 I really liked.
7 is good. I found it. There were issues with it. I like them both. 7, I would give it an 8 as well. Like they're close. They're just very different.
I thought the beginning of 7, like the first, let's say 4 or 5 hours, were absolutely incredible, and then it kind of falls into a slump in that like the later half.
Yeah, I think the later half of 7 falls in that slump too.
I would like one of these first-person Resident Evils that has that interactivity of the first part of 7, where like you can really run around the house any which way, and that scene in the garage, which really feels open-ended. I would like something that works that way, but maybe is a little bit smaller. It seems like a lot of these Resident Evils want to put you on the 20-hour pathway to play the whole game. I wouldn't mind if the game was only 6 hours, but had 20 or 10 outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, most Resident Evil games are about 10 to 12 hours. This game, Resident Evil 8 is about 10 hours.
Yeah, okay. And I know it gets to a point where you're really just mowing down wolves and enemies.
But... Yeah, again, it's a good game. You should play that. But anyways, that's not what I've been playing. So what I actually have been playing the past week or so, as crazy as it's going to sound, is I'm playing the old Diablo 2. So not the remake. I've chosen not... I actually canceled my order of the remake. And I've been playing the old Diablo 2 that I already own, so I'm not supporting Activision Blizzard by playing it. And I'm playing a mod on it. And it turns out this mod is called Median XL. And the mod's been around. It's been around for 26 years or something crazy. The mod's been around as long as the game has been, and they just released a 2.0 update. So it was like 1.8 for 5 or 6 years or something, and they finally just revamped everything. It includes 4K resolution, brand new skill trees, brand new end game. Like everything's different about the game except the core kind of Diablo kind of look. Like everything's
been sounds better than what the remake is offering.
I think it is better than the remake. Like the remake one, it's still running under the hood the old game, and so it still has those kind of laggy graphical jankiness that this game has too, honestly. But this game just all the quality of life improvements that you want in Diablo 2, they actually implemented. Where Diablo 2 remake doesn't implement almost any of them. I'll just give you a quick example. Like auto pickup gold is something that they have in the remake. It's been in this game for a decade. So I've been having a blast. I got 3 other friends that are playing it with me. Everything feels new. So if you're a fan of Diablo 2, our 2 listeners, and you want to just play Diablo 2 without having to spend $60 or whatever it is on the remake, I really encourage download the old game. Download Median XL, the mod. Get the 4K resolution. There's even a way to get 60 frames per second on a game that runs at 25 frames as it's kind of...
The new remake has to run at 60, doesn't it?
I think the new remake runs at 60, but I'm saying this mod is using a game engine that's running at 25 frames. So all the timing and all this kind of stuff runs at 25, but the modders did the same thing that the remake did. There's a way to make it 60 frames and smooth it over while still having all the same values of attack speed and stuff based on the 25 frame game system.
Interesting.
Anyways, yeah, it's I really recommend it for anyone that is having that Diablo itch.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I was gonna buy Diablo 2, but I'm not going to anymore. So, but
yeah, me neither.
I can't.
I went to the effort because I told on my podcast that I'd already pre-ordered it and there's nothing I could do. I just went through the effort of having to email them and wait for them to reply and then explain my reasoning, and I got it canceled. I didn't want to buy the game anymore.
Good. I mean, that makes more of a statement about why you're canceling. When you
cancel
stuff like that. Interesting. Cool.
All right. So what have you been playing, Pete?
Well, I've been playing. I mean, I've been on the road for the last 2 weeks, so I've been playing mostly on Switch, and I actually decided to replay Super Metroid on the Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo app. Beat the whole thing to completion, so I'm just kind of greasing my wheels for Dread.
I'm surprised you did that. I would not want to play Metroid right now.
I mean, there's still a month.
I can see how it gets hype. I just wouldn't want to get burnt out either.
I mean, I'm tempted to go play Metroid Prime, but I'm not. I'm going to hold off. But I just wanted to get a little bit of the history in me again, and I haven't played Super Metroid since I was in college, so...
I wish there was a way to play Fusion on the Switch, because that's the one that actually...
You have it on your 3DS, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't know where my 3DS is right now.
Oh, I know where mine is.
I just want to play it again to remember the story. because the story does tie into this
There
one.
are good videos on YouTube that'll give you like a 20-minute breakdown of the whole Metroid story.
Okay, awesome.
And I think this new game they said it'll catch you up.
Okay, great.
But I mean, every Metroid story is the same. You get called to do a mission on a planet, and then you have to do it. So it's not.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if this is the final one of this kind of pentology, then yeah.
Yeah, which actually has me very interested, and I think we're gonna see like an evil Chozo. And anyways, I don't want to talk about Dread because I can talk about it for a whole
Yeah.
podcast. So yeah, I beat Super Metroid. I've been playing 3D World as well, so I beat that. Mario. I mean, I already beat the
Nice.
Bowser's Fury, but I'm just going through 3D World. It's such a tight game.
Are you playing? Are you gonna do all the bonus content?
I'm into the bonus content now.
Oh, nice.
Which is the best parts of the game. The final world's great, so I'm just loving replaying that again with the music. I've also been playing on Xbox. I've been playing Psychonauts 2. And this game kind of surprised me because I'm really liking it, and I'm actually pretty far into it now. I'm probably about 5 hours in. And it's just really good. And I think even though you don't have it for free on Game Pass because you have a PlayStation, I would say get it on PS4 because it's still a really good game, and it's got a lot of the stuff you probably like from.
Wait, why get it on PS4?
Well, what else are you gonna play it on? I guess your PC.
Why would I get it on PS4 over PS5?
They don't have it. Sorry, there is no PS5 version.
Oh, sorry. I can get the PS4 version and play on my PS5 though.
Yeah, they didn't make it. They made a PS4 version because it was in the Kickstarter.
I know. Yeah.
But the PS5 wasn't even a thing at that point, so there is actually no native PS5 version. There is an Xbox Series X version.
I'm just making sure I didn't have to go in and plug in my PS4 and whatnot.
No, you can get the PS4 and play it on PS5.
Yeah, I really would like to pick it up, and I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is the first game on PSN?
I think so. It's also on Game Pass.
Because I would like to play the first one too, just to kind of see.
The first one is dated now, though. It's from like 2003.
I know it's old. I mean, I played some old games before. I just want to see what it was and why people liked it, and then what it has become.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I never played the first one. I saw a few videos of it, but I'm really just into the second one now, and it's got a good mix of like really zany, like diverse gameplay and platforming. But it's also got that adventure feeling, a little bit of like, Mario Sunshine, where it doesn't just feel like linear level after level. It feels like you are in a hub, and you do get to know the characters. And the voice acting and cutscenes are really well done. I didn't expect to be so involved in the story and the characters and kind of what's happening. And it's zany, but it's interesting. Like, you're going into different characters' brains to like get into their psyche and find out why they think or a certain way or fix a problem. So the levels are all based around like going through someone's brain, and a lot of the puzzles have different ways to solve them, and the action's actually really good, and it's like super polished. Like I'm playing in 4K I'm playing in 120 frames, which is awesome. Like it's just I'm really enjoying it, and it's gonna definitely end up on my Game of the Year list.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been one. That's been a good one.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess quickly, Derek. What are you excited? What's the next game you're gonna buy? What are you excited for? I mean, there's only so many months. We're in September now. There's only a couple months left in the year.
I mean, there's lots of games I'm excited for. I am excited for Deathloop. I'm super excited for Tales of Arise tomorrow.
So you are getting Tales of Arise tomorrow?
No. But I'm waiting on those games because I know they'll go down in price.
Oh, so you're not getting Deathloop until the price drops as well?
Yeah. Again, I want all those games. I'm trying to be a little more conscientious of my money. So I'm just being a little bit more selective. So the only game I am definitely buying this year is Metroid Dread.
Do you have it pre-ordered already?
I do. I thought I could cancel it. So basically, I was trying to get some stuff off Amazon that was under the $50 threshold, and I deleted my Prime last year. So I was like, oh, if I pre-order Metroid, I can get the free shipping because it's over $50. But it turns out you can't actually cancel the pre-order anymore. Because it would not let me do it because I got the shipping already.
I see.
So I'm happy to pre-order it. It doesn't matter. I want that game.
You don't. You just have a regular hard copy, not the special edition.
Oh yeah, just the regular hard copy.
Yeah, I'm tempted to try to get that special edition and pay a scalper.
I mean, you could. If you're gonna do it though, just buy a real copy too, and don't open that one.
Well, I'm gonna play the digital copy that I have already. It's not preloaded yet, but I've already paid for it.
Okay, so you're just getting a hard copy for the sake of the hard copy.
I'm gonna try to get a special edition copy and keep it sealed.
Yeah, exactly.
So that 20 years from now, I can sell it for an extra $20. That's the effort I go through.
It's probably better to put your money in like.
I really want the
stock.
amiibos too, but they're impossible.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Metroid Dread is the game I'm most excited for. There are other games coming out tomorrow even that I'm excited for, but I'm not going to buy day one. But yeah, the only other game that even trumps Metroid Dread is Elden Ring in January.
Yeah, to me, I think that my day ones for the rest of the year are Metroid and Forza Horizon.
Oh yeah, good choice. Yeah,
6 or 5, 7, I can't remember.
I think it's 5.
I am excited for the Halo campaign though. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I hope you're gonna wait and play that with me on like over Christmas break.
Yeah, I can wait. You got to come to my place though to play it.
That's okay. I'll be home for those 2 weeks or whatever.
Oh, okay.
For the holiday.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I'm down because it's December 8th that comes out. So
yeah, so I'll be home like maybe the 20th or something.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess next time we talk, maybe there'll be a Nintendo Direct to talk about. There's a lot of rumors and hopes about that.
I hope that would be awesome.
I don't think it's happening. I don't think we'll get one until like later in the year, maybe December.
I think until after Metroid Dread.
Yeah, I just don't see. We already know the lineup of games coming for the next 6 months. There's no reason to do it now. Even Sakurai said we'd have to wait extra long for the last Smash Bros. Character.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said the last one's going to take an extra minute. I think there's going to be something extra special with this last one. Whether it's like an extra stage or an extra mode or something.
It's going to be, instead of 1 character, here's 6.
Imagine, it's like, hey, we're going to just give you 3. Bam, bam, bam. I don't think so. I think it'll be 1. But I think they'll have like maybe a Smash Bros. Celebration stage on top of everything.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
Something like that. And then I think at some point over the next year or two, side note, for Switch, you're going to see like the Smash Bros. Game of the Year edition complete. You know, with all those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good idea.
Maybe they'll wait till. I think they might end up waiting till the next Switch so they can sell it with like brand new price with 4K logo on it, you know? We'll see. But my hope is that they would announce and say, hey, and we're going to give you some special new mode, we're going to give you Target Smash, and we're going to give you like fixed online.
Yeah,
I don't think that's happened. I don't think they're going to do that much. It's going to be one random crappy character from Rhythm Heaven, and everyone's going to be happy. They better be. Cool. Okay. Well, I guess that's this week. Nintendo Bros signing out.
Yeah. Take care. See ya.
Bye.